No more bad brand. Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Every Closet. My name is Stephanie. Along with my partner Ethan, we are two full-time resellers on places like Poshmark and eBay. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a list of brands that I used to be excited to find and source, and then I'm no longer sourcing. Let's jump right into it. The first brand, and honestly the one I'm maddest at, so I put it first, that I do not source anymore is Gymshark. Oh my goodness, we have in our closet 3 or 4 pairs of new with tags Gymshark leggings, and no one will give us even like $30 for them. It's so frustrating. So Gymshark leggings, I am not sourcing anymore. And to be perfectly honest, if someone even like gave me Gymshark leggings, I'd take them to Plato's Closet where they're still somehow charging like $40 per legging. I don't know how they're doing that, but at least they'd give me $10 and I wouldn't have to list it, right? So Gymshark leggings, I'm absolutely done with. I will still source them under certain circumstances, and that's going to be true for all these brands. Like I said in like my last video or something, I never really say never. So under the circumstances that A, it's a collab with Whitney Simmons, I would source that. Or B, it's something like super, I don't know, substantial. If they were extremely modern leggings, like a new style of Gymshark that people might be looking for, and I checked comps and that was supported by sell-through rate, I'd be like, fine, I'll buy these stupid Gymshark leggings. But mostly I'd buy like sports bras or cardigans or hoodies or things like that. And I would not pay more than $5 for them, seriously. Whitney Simmons collabs with Gymshark still sell well because she has a really good following as an influencer. But other than that, I'm pretty much done with Gymshark. And I'm really mad because I really liked finding Gymshark. I find a lot of it in our area. It was doing really well for a while. It would fly out of our closet. And that was about a year to a year and a half ago. And now it just sits there. No one will, like, people send me like $18 offers for Gymshark leggings. I'm like, I paid 10. So yeah, I'm done with Gymshark, mostly. The next brand that I do not source most of the time is Ms. Moosh. If you follow me on Instagram, I put this in one of my earliest Bolo Instagram posts. I put it in the shoe Bolo post. It's a shoe brand. They're from definitely Europe, and they make leather shoes, and they're just expensive shoes. But to be honest, they're declining over the last year and a half. They've really declined. And I even think that their prices on their website is going down. So like the original price is even going down. They used to be $200-ish shoes, and now they're like, their website's often having like 40% off, which is not a great sign. So I used to pick up almost all the Miss Moves I saw, and now, first of all, Value Village is wise to it. So they're pricing it all at like $25. And second of all, it's just sitting in my closet. So unless it's a really cute pair of boots, maybe. I did semi-recently buy a pair of Ms. Moo's wedge ankle boots that were like burgundy and snakeskin and really cute. And I think those did sell. So under those circumstances, like if it's exceptionally substantial or cute or cheap at the store, I would still pick it up sometimes. But like in general, I come across Ms. Moo's almost every time I go to the thrift store. And I haven't bought it the last like 6 times. So I've cooled a lot, and I would no longer consider this like a huge Bolo brand. It's more like a sometimes brand. The next brand that I have seriously cooled down on sourcing, and to be honest, I never actually sourced it that much, but I come across it all the time at the thrift. All the time. Literally every 5th thing at my thrift is TNA. So I'm obviously not done sourcing Aritzia. I source it all the time and it does very well. But the sub-brand of Aritzia that I basically ignore at the thrift store or sourcing is TNA. It's lower cost of goods to begin with. It's like a lower end line. Wilfred and Babaton from Aritzia sell for more in store than TNA does. Certain TNA items can be very like trendy with trendy high schoolers and teenagers and young people. But then I'd have to educate myself on what of those are trending and for how long. They're over really quick. Like my young cousin, she's in high school and she often wants TNA things, but like by the time like she's like, "Oh, for Christmas, can I have this specific TNA hoodie?" But by the time I like possibly found that exact color in the store, it would definitely be over by then, you know? So I don't buy TNA. I would still pick it up, you know, if it's $1 or $2, sure. I'd also pick it up if it's newer tags. And of course, I am not including the Super Puff in this whatsoever. Like, that's just not, I'm including like all their waffle knits, hoodies, and leggings especially. Leggings, we've had a few from like consignment clients and stuff, and they'll only sell for between $10 to $25, which just doesn't leave room for profit for us. So I used to get excited when I saw TNA at the thrift store, and the last few times I've just been like, TNA next. But if you find a TNA like substantial jacket, yes. And there are exceptions again to all of these brands, but in general, I'm flipping TNA and I'm not even stopping to be like, this is something I'd consider. No, I don't. The next brand that I used to get so excited to see, and I need to chill on it. You know what? I think I'm a little late to this party of this brand declining. It's Soya and Kayo, or Soya and Kyo, one of those. I find a lot of their jackets here in the like Vancouver-y area, and then I buy them. I pay like $20 for them or something. I list them for 100 and they sit. They're just not going for that anymore. That's not a flip that can be performed very easily anymore unless it's a super modern style or if it's new tags. New tags, sure, I'd pick that up all the time. Or like say it was like a duster wool cashmere blend, like trench length, cute jacket like that was really trendy. I'd be like, yes, get it. But the brand itself doesn't like hold the value that it used to. So if it's an older style, if it's looks dated at all, if there's any tiny flaw on it, or if they're asking more than like $15, I'm not picking this up anymore. I still stop and consider it, but a lot of the time lately, I'm like, Soya and Kayo, that's just like an old style pea coat. Next, like that quickly. And this used to be one of my favorite bolo brands. So I wanted to tell you guys about it. I'm not stopping and thinking about it very hard anymore. It's either a super cute modern piece with like amazing fabric or newer tags or something, or it's dated and I don't even stop for it. The trends, they come and go. Maybe it'll be up again soon. Maybe they'll make a new style of like jacket that everyone's really into. You don't know. Soya and Kayo, it's asleep. And so we're just going to let it sleep until it hopefully goes back up. The next brand that I barely stop for anymore is Neon Buddha. Neon Buddha makes like kind of login look pieces. They're very flowy. They're oversized. They're made of fabrics like organic cotton and linen and stuff like that. And they're kind of like quirky, I would almost say. They're pretty expensive retail, but I haven't been finding the resale value in them quite as much lately. About 2 years ago, they would have sold in our closet like within a few weeks, and now we're sitting on pieces and lowering the prices. And when that happens, I gotta tell you guys about it because, yeah, I found Neon Buddha at the thrift store and even at a consignment store a few times recently, and same thing. I just keep flipping it. And by flipping, I mean not flipping for profit. I mean flipping the racks. Like, next. Still get like a super cool, unique looking jacket from them, but like their t-shirts, those are barely holding like $25 of resale value. If something can only sell for $25, how am I going to make $25 profit on it? You can't. I've been really slowing down and becoming really picky when it comes to Neon Buddha, and I think that I would recommend you do the same. The next brand that I've seriously cooled down on is Crooks and Castles. Crooks and Castles is a streetwear brand, and to be honest, it always gets a lot of likes, but no one wants to pay that much for it. And also, I don't know if the retail price has gone down or if it's always been a bit of a lower retail price that just people really wanted, so it flipped quickly. Regardless, I have not stopped for a Crooks and Castles thing in a while, and I'm demoting it to the point where I'd only pick it up at the bins or for like less than $3. So that's pretty big demotion, and most of the time the men's section, like every shirt in the men's section at my thrift store is $10. It's a great time. So like I don't pick up Crooks and Castles when I find it there anymore. I just keep going. We're actually sitting on a new tag shirt right now. So that's a very bad sign because I don't even think it has likes. Oh God. So yeah, I regret picking that one up, and I'm definitely cooling it on Crooks and Castles. The next brand I'm cooling on, or should have cooled on like a year ago, but didn't, but I'm cooling on it now, is Urban Outfitters. Okay, Urban Outfitters is a complicated company, right? It's got all sorts of sub-brands. Urban Outfitters is the parent company that owns Anthropologie and Free People. If you didn't know, now you know. If you want, by the way, comment down below if you guys are interested in learning more about that. I did a whole series about that on my Instagram, but it's so old now that I could do it again if you wanted. So comment down below, would you be interested in learning about like Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie, the sub brands, how that all works, and like the RN 66170 and all that kind of stuff? Because I actually know a little bit about it thanks to one of my Instagram friends. So anyway, comment if you want to see that. Urban Outfitters retails for the lowest out of all the brands they have, resells for the lowest, and just it's almost it's like their fast fashion brand almost. Like they're first of all, I think all the clothes they make are actually not great quality. Not all of them. Like some of the brands that Anthropologie carries are very good quality. Like what's that one? You know, the big one with the Farm Rio. Those are good quality clothes. But like just the general everyday stuff that is made by like the Urban Outfitters company is actually pretty crappy. Often when I find it, there's holes and stuff. And so I've been slowly, as we've been doing this more, noticing like I thought when we started, I think it was like how Ethan used to think that Guess was super valuable because that's what it seemed like was super valuable when we were teenagers and stuff. I think I thought the same about Urban Outfitters because I always thought when I went to shop there, like, oh, it's so expensive and so trendy, and this is where all the cool kids shop and all that. But like, that might still be true, but it's still the lowest end of that whole franchise. So anything with an Urban Outfitters tag, I'm seriously cooling on. Even newer tag stuff, unless it's quite cheap, because people don't want to pay up for Urban Outfitters. They want it, it's trendy styles and stuff, but they want to give you like 20 bucks max. So because of that, it just doesn't fit into our business model that much anymore. And I've seriously cooled on it. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, is this that BDG Twilight jacket that Kristen Stewart wore in Twilight? No, then I'm not really interested. It'd have to be really super, super cool, but it's not usually. So I just kind of next. The next brand that I've seriously cooled on because they're everywhere. This is the most oversaturated thing in my area, which is fair. I live in Vancouver, which a lot of people affectionately call Raincouver. Hunter rain boots. I used to be able to legitimately pay up to $40 for these and flip them every time for at least 80, sometimes even 100 or 120. That is not the case anymore. Now, the thrift stores mark them even higher and put them behind their counter and like know when they have real ones and know when they have fake ones because they're like, yeah, hunter boots are worth money. But I think they're behind and I think I'm behind if I'm picking them up. I would obviously still pick them up for 10, 15, maybe $20 if they were in really good condition, but I can't pay what I used to pay for hunter boots. And I see them a lot at the thrift and I look at the bottom and it says $36 or something cost of goods and I'm like, no, thank you. Or sometimes it's like $60 and I'm like, Jesus, no. Jeezy, jeez, no. So most of the time when I come across hunter boots these days, I'm not sourcing them. So check comps for the specific pairs. I'm sure there are still like trending styles or like maybe they're making a new kind of thing that I don't know about, but just they're everyday like tall rain boots and short rain boots. They're just not selling for as high as they used to. And to be honest, there's a ton of them on Poshmark and eBay. Then you have to kind of undercut price if someone's going to buy yours instead of someone else's. And it's just, yeah, they're not as rare as they used to be. And so they're not as valuable as they used to be. And that's economics or something. The next brand that I've cooled down on, and this is sad because it's a nice luxury brand, is Cassidy. Cassidy I put on a Bolo list as well. That was on my Instagram like a year or two or three ago. We found a pair of Cassidy shoes. We had the dust bag. We bought them. They sat for a year and a half and then sold for like 60 something dollars or 70 or something. I expected those to sell for over $100 based on the original price of these shoes. These are like $500 or higher original price shoes. But yeah, people aren't looking for them. And when you look at comps on Poshmark US, and when you look at comps on eBay, people are letting a lot of Cassidy shoes go for like 20, 30, $40, and that's not the sold prices I want when I'm sourcing luxury shoes. So I just don't think that they hold the value that they used to. I'm not even sure if they used to because this is the only pair I've ever had. But I know I used to see solds over $100 back when I looked it up like 2 years ago. Those are so rare now. So when I see Cassidy, I don't like, oh, Cassidy, yay, luxury shoes. No, I'm like, maybe, probably not, which isn't great. So I'm telling you about. The next brand I've cooled the heck down on, and this is Costco's fault. I hate you, Costco. Badgley Mischka. Did you know they're selling Badgley Mischka things at Costco now? So this brand is known for two things mainly, and those are the two things I'd still source. Wedding shoes, so like high heels that people wear on their wedding day, essentially, and bridal dresses and bridesmaid dresses. So those are the two things I'd still source. But I come across a ton of sweaters, pants, all sorts of other things, Badgley Mischka, like blazers, all that kind of stuff. And they sell it at Costco now. And there's like a Badgley Mischka merino wool sweater that I came across recently that had a Costco tag on it. And I was like, this is the end, my friend. Once something's been adopted at Costco, it's kind of hard to ask for a good amount of money for it resale. So yeah, everything Badgley Mischka is dead to me other than their wedding high heels and their bridesmaid dresses. Other than that, I'm just skipping past Badgley Mischka every time now, and that's so sad. How dare you do that to me, Costco? But happens to the best of us brands, and that's one of them. Another brand I've cooled a ton on is Denim Supply Ralph Lauren. Denim Supply is a sub-label of Ralph Lauren that is no longer carried and hasn't been for a while now. Since I've been reselling, it hasn't been in production, so it's always been like, if you want a Denim Supply Ralph Lauren thing, you're gonna have to get it secondhand because they're not selling it anymore. So it was a pretty well-liked line of Ralph Lauren. I'd say I'd put it on like just above Polo Ralph Lauren, just below like General Blue Label kind of thing. But yeah, I think there was some demand for it when they canceled it, and I think I hit some of the tail end of that and was able to flip some things for a good profit, but I think it's petered out now. And whenever I see Denim Supply Ralph Lauren, I'm not picking it up unless it's under $5. So that is not ideal, especially because most of the things I see aren't under $5. So like I've come across a lot of blouses and stuff lately that are like $8.99, and I'm like, no, I can't even make that work. I think that most of the tops and things are selling between $20 and $30 now. It's not the average sales price that we're aiming for. So most of the time when I see it, I pass on Denim Supply Ralph Lauren lately. There's obviously going to be exceptions. I think I bought a pea coat of theirs recently because it was like $8 or $9 and made of wool and a long like trench pea coat. And I was like, okay, well, that one I'll take. But unless it's got a bunch of other factors going for it, I'm not picking up Denim Supply Ralph Lauren anymore, and I'm often just not even stopping to think about it, and that sucks because I used to love reselling that brand, but we're moving on, guys. We have to move on. Another brand I've basically entirely cooled it on, like I don't even stop for it when I see it anymore, is Citizens of Humanity. They make denim things, they make jeans, they're carried at like Aritzia and other high-end retailers that sell lots of different brands like Nordstrom or whatever. I haven't picked up a pair of Citizens of Humanity jeans in at least a year. We get them sometimes for consignment and then I sell them because obviously, but most of their jeans do not flip that well anymore. I've had a pair of white like cropped denim jeans of theirs over a year, and they're priced at like $27 now and no one's buying them. They're of course certain styles, or if it's new with tags, always if jeans are new with tags, then they're probably worth getting. Like even Urban Outfitters jeans new with tags, I would pick up if the cost of goods was low enough. But Citizens of Humanity, yeah, these are like $250 jeans retail, or at least in Canadian dollars, or $200 US probably. And yeah, I just can't make it work anymore. Sometimes we get the really cool modern styles from our like super trendy, expensive consignment client, and those can resell. Like I think I resold a pair semi recently for $50, which is a good flip most of the time, but just it's too high of a risk and I've held on to too many pairs. So, especially if they're skinny jeans, especially if they're like an older style, heck no, I don't even think about it. If I look down and they have like some sort of trending like flare or something like that going on, I might look up the style comps, but even then they're maxing out at like $40 and I still can't make that work because my Value Village is charging 10 and if I'm listing it at 50 and selling for 40, that's barely enough profit. So I don't like to leave that little room for our benchmark. So Citizens of Humanity, I've been cooling on for a while now, and I haven't been buying it for a while. So I just wanted to tell you because I know it's like one of the jean kind of like high-end bolo brands, and especially if you like shop at Aritzia and you see them there for $200 and you're like, this must be great to flip. Not that much anymore, which is sad. Sorry. Okay, and this last one makes me the most upset. I know I said Gymshark made me the most upset, and it does because I personally like Gymshark. Like, Ethan mostly wears Gymshark shirts, like, that's most of his wardrobe. But this one makes me the most upset because it was such a great bolo brand for me. Anyway, Sandro Paris. I know. I have sourced so many Sandro Paris dresses and sweaters and mostly those two things. Jackets. Oh, a blazer I have that's sitting in our closet right now. It's so nice. It's a tweed blazer. Like, I like Sandro Paris clothes, and they do retail for usually between $200 and $500. So it should hold a lot of value. And I think when I started reselling, it did hold over $100 value most of the time. But I've been holding on to a lot of Sandro recently. I'm getting increasingly picky with it at consignment stores and even at the thrift. If someone's charging me $20 or higher for Sandro, I'm probably not getting it, which is nuts because this used to be like one of my like most common flipping brands to get that I would come across all the time and pick it up every time. It's declining and we've been holding on to some stuff. I've seen some low comps and I'm just, oh, it's so sad. I really like Sandro, but I'm not never sourcing it, but I am being pretty picky and strict with what I do source from Sandro lately. That was the list of brands that I used to like get excited to see wherever I saw them. I'd be like, oh, yay, these ones. And now I'm like, next. Not even barely stopping to consider them unless it's got the perfect mix of other factors like really low cost of goods, really trendy style, really substantial jacket with like fabrics and stuff. These are things that I used to pick up all the time and now I don't. So that happens in reselling and we try to stay on top of it. So I hope that this video helped you. I'm going to go thrift now and probably not pick up any of those brands. So I will see you guys in the next video and hit subscribe if you want to. That'd be cool. Oh, melting. This is why I'm awkward in person because that's like, I literally do the same thing in person. It's not as funny in person. Is it? Okay. Ethan, just cut a lot of this out. Like maybe one funny clip, but like not all these. Like this is a bit much.